The large throne room was filled with strange light from glowing crystals on the walls. The galactic alien Empress sat on a tall silver throne. Her long robes shined like the stars, and her eyes glowed with a cold blue light. Around her, many alien nobles stood, their faces serious and proud. They were the most powerful creatures in the galaxy. In front of the throne, a small human girl stood quietly. She looked different from all the aliens. Her hair was dark, and her eyes were bright, with courage. She did not look afraid, even though she was surrounded by powerful beings. The Empress looked at her with a strange smile. "You think you are important, little human?" the Empress said. Her voice was soft, but full of power. "You come here alone, from a weak planet, and expect us to listen to you." The girl did not answer. She kept looking straight at the Empress. The Empress laughed loudly. The nobles around her joined in, their strange voices filling the room. Behind the girl was a huge wolf, but it was not like any wolf on Earth. This wolf was taller than a man and covered in black scales that shimmered in the light. Its eyes burned red, and its teeth looked sharp enough to break metal. The wolf was chained with thick metal chains, but it growled low and moved as if it wanted to break free. "This beast is my deadliest warrior," the Empress said proudly. "It obeys no one but me. It has destroyed many enemies who tried to challenge me, and yet it is here, chained like a dog." The girl slowly turned her eyes to the wolf. She did not show fear. Instead, she saw something in the wolf's eyes. It was not just anger or danger, it was sadness and pain. The wolf growled softly, but it did not attack. The Empress waved her hand. "Guards, keep the human away from the wolf. Do not let her touch the beast. It is dangerous." 2 tall guards moved forward to block the girl, but she held up her hand and spoke quietly. "Let me try to talk to him." The Empress raised an eyebrow and nodded. "Very well, but if the wolf attacks, do not hesitate to stop her." The girl stepped slowly toward the chained wolf. The guards watched carefully. The girl kneeled down and looked into the wolf's eyes. She whispered softly, "I am not here to hurt you. I want to understand." The wolf's growl became quieter. Its red eyes focused on the girl's face. It made strange sounds, low and deep. The girl listened carefully. She moved her hand closer to the wolf, but did not touch it. Suddenly, the wolf stopped growling. It lowered its head and looked at the girl as if it trusted her. The girl smiled a little. "You are hurt, aren't you? Someone took your family. You want to be free." The Empress's smile disappeared. She looked surprised and angry at the same time. "You expect me to believe a weak human understands the language of my deadliest beast? You lie." The girl looked up calmly. "I do not lie. I listen with my heart, not just my ears." The wolf made a soft sound like a sigh. The girl gently touched its nose. It did not move away. The Empress stood up, her voice cold and loud. "Attack her!" But before the guards could move, the wolf pulled hard on its chains. The metal links bent and broke like thin wire. The wolf jumped forward, but did not go near the girl. Instead, it stood between her and the guards. It growled, loudly, warning them to stay back. The guards stopped, surprised and afraid. The Empress's face turned pale. The wolf's red eyes burned like fire. It was clear now that the wolf had made a choice. The girl stood slowly and said, "He will protect me now." The Empress whispered, "This is not over." The wolf howled loudly, a sound that shook the throne room. The aliens gasped. The girl looked strong and calm. She was no longer just a small human girl. She was someone powerful, a friend to the deadliest beast in the galaxy. After the wolf broke free from its chains, the room was filled with quiet tension. The alien nobles looked at each other, unsure what would happen next. The Empress stood still, her face pale but full of anger. The huge wolf stayed close to the human girl, growling softly to warn anyone who came near. The girl took a deep breath. She felt the wolf's strong heart beating beside her. "Don't be afraid," she whispered to the beast. The wolf's red eyes softened for a moment. It was clear that they had formed a bond no one else understood. The Empress raised her voice. "You will pay for this, human. You have insulted me and my kingdom by freeing that beast. Guards, capture her now." But the guards did not move forward. They were afraid of the wolf. The girl saw their hesitation and smiled slightly. "I do not want to fight," she said. "I want to understand your world. I want peace." The Empress's eyes narrowed. "Peace? From a human? Humans have caused destruction on many worlds. Why should I trust you?" The girl looked straight at the Empress. "Because I am different. I do not want to fight. I want to help." The Empress laughed bitterly. "Help? You? You are alone, weak, and small. What can you do against an empire like mine?" Suddenly, the wolf growled and stepped closer to the girl. It nuzzled her hand gently, showing its trust. The Empress's face showed surprise. No one had ever seen the wolf act like this. The girl knelt and looked up at the Empress. "This wolf is not just a beast. He is a soul with pain and love. You have kept him chained and broken his heart. But I see him. I hear him. And now, he chooses to stand with me." A cold silence fell in the room. The Empress clenched her fists. "You will regret this day. You think you can change the galaxy with your kindness. You will be crushed like an insect." The girl stood tall. "Maybe, but I will try." Suddenly, alarms began to ring through the palace. The aliens looked around in confusion. A loud voice came from the control room. "Warning! Enemy ships approaching fast. They are attacking the palace." The Empress's eyes flashed with anger and fear. "Prepare for battle," she ordered. The nobles rushed to their battle stations. The girl looked at the wolf. "We must protect this place," she said softly. The wolf growled and nodded. Together, they moved toward the entrance. Outside, huge warships flew in the sky, shooting beams of light. The palace walls shook with the power of the weapons. The Empress's soldiers fought bravely, but the enemy was strong. The girl and the wolf ran through the palace halls, helping injured guards and calming frightened aliens. The wolf's sharp senses warned them of danger before it came. The girl's courage gave hope to those around her. In one room, they found a group of young aliens trapped under fallen debris. The girl quickly lifted the heavy stones with the wolf's help. The aliens thanked her with wide eyes. "You are different from other humans," one said. The girl smiled. "I want to be a friend." Meanwhile, the Empress stood on the palace balcony, watching the battle. Her mind raced. She could not believe a human and a wolf were changing everything she knew. She felt a strange fear inside her. Fear of losing control. The battle lasted for hours. Slowly, the enemy forces began to retreat. The palace was damaged, but still standing. The girl and the wolf returned to the throne room. The Empress waited for them, her expression cold but thoughtful. "You survived because of that beast," she said quietly. "Maybe there is more power in your friendship than I thought." The girl nodded. "Power comes from trust and love, not fear." The Empress looked at the wolf, then at the girl. For the first time, she wondered if the galaxy was ready for a change led by a human and a beast no one could control. After the battle, the palace was quiet but full of tension. The alien nobles whispered to each other, their eyes watching the girl and the wolf closely. The Galactic Empress sat back on her throne, her face thoughtful. She was not used to seeing anyone stand up to her. Not like this. The girl stood near the wolf, feeling the power of her new friend beside her. She knew the Empress was watching, waiting to see what she would do next. The girl's heart beat fast, but she stayed calm. The Empress spoke first. "You have changed the rules today, human. No one has ever spoken to my beast like that. No one has ever broken his chains." Her voice was low but strong. "Why do you protect him?" The girl looked at the wolf, then back at the Empress. "Because he is more than a beast. He is hurt and lonely. I see that. I want to help him heal. The Empress shook her head slowly. You are naive. The galaxy is not kind. It is full of war, pain, and power. She paused, then said, If you want to help him, you must be ready to face many dangers. The girl nodded. I am ready. The Empress stood up and walked down from her throne. She looked directly at the girl. Then you must prove your strength, not just with words, but with actions. She raised her hand and snapped her fingers. Suddenly, the walls of the throne room opened and a large arena appeared. It was dark and cold with high walls and sharp rocks. The nobles gasped. The Empress said, You will face a test. If you win, you may stay here and learn. If you lose, you will leave and never return. The girl did not move. The wolf growled softly and stood close to her. The Empress called out, Your opponent will be my greatest warrior, a deadly, alien beast known as the Shadow Fang. The heavy doors of the arena opened. A tall, fierce creature stepped inside. Its skin was dark and covered in spikes. Its eyes glowed green in the dark. The creature moved with quick and silent steps, showing it was a perfect hunter. The girl's heart beat faster, but she did not show fear. She looked at the wolf and whispered, We can do this together. The Empress watched with a small smile. Begin. The Shadow Fang lunged forward, fast and sharp. The girl dodged quickly, moving to the side. The wolf growled and jumped to block the beast. The two creatures fought fiercely, their claws and teeth flashing in the dark. The girl watched carefully, looking for a chance to help. She remembered the wolf's pain and sadness. She saw that the beast was strong but cold, without trust or kindness. She stepped closer and shouted, Stop! This fight is not the answer. The Shadow Fang paused, surprised by the human's voice. The wolf also stopped, looking at the girl. Fighting will only bring more pain, the girl said. We can find another way, if you all listen. The Empress frowned. Do you really think they will stop? The girl looked at the Empress and said, If we show them trust and kindness, maybe they will. Suddenly the Shadow Fang growled low and stepped back. It looked at the wolf, and then at the girl. The fight was over, not with a victory by power, but by something different. The Empress was silent. No one had ever stopped the Shadow Fang before. The nobles whispered in shock. The girl smiled at the wolf. See, we are stronger together. The wolf nuzzled her hand, his red eyes soft. The Empress finally spoke. You have passed the first test, human, but the galaxy is not done with you. There are many more challenges ahead. The girl nodded, ready for whatever came next. The Galactic Empress watched the human girl carefully. Though the girl had passed the first test, the Empress was far from trusting her. The girl had shown kindness and strength, but the galaxy was full of danger, and the Empress knew that more challenges were coming. Your next task, the Empress said, is to prove your wisdom. You must solve the puzzle of the ancients. The girl looked at the Empress, curious but calm. What is this puzzle? The Empress smiled coldly. It is a test of your mind and heart. If you fail, you will lose your chance here. The girl nodded, ready to face whatever came. The Empress led her to a large room filled with strange symbols glowing on the walls. In the center was a pedestal with a cube made of crystal. The cube was covered in moving shapes and glowing lines. The cube holds the secret to peace in this galaxy, the Empress explained. You must unlock it. The girl stepped forward and reached out to touch the cube. The shapes shifted under her fingers. She felt the power inside, but also confusion. The puzzle was not just about logic, but about feelings and trust. The wolf stood beside her, watching quietly. The girl closed her eyes and thought about the wolf's pain, the Empress's anger, and the galaxy's fear. She remembered her own heart, full of hope and courage. Slowly, she moved the shapes to form a pattern that made her think of trust and friendship. The cube began to glow brighter. Suddenly, the walls around her lit up with images, pictures of different planets, creatures, and people living together in peace. The symbols changed to show kindness, helping hands, and shared strength. The Empress watched in silence. No one had ever solved the puzzle of the ancients this way. The girl smiled. The puzzle is not just about shapes, it is about working together, understanding, and caring for each other. The Empress nodded slowly. You have shown wisdom, but there is one last challenge. The girl felt a mix of excitement and fear. What is it? The Empress's eyes grew cold. You must face the Council of Shadows. They decide the fate of all who enter this palace. The girl's heart beat fast. The council was known as a group of the galaxy's most powerful and dangerous leaders. If they did not accept her, she could be thrown out, or worse. The Empress led her to a dark chamber. Inside, tall figures cloaked in shadows sat around a glowing table. Their eyes glowed with different colors: red, green, blue, and purple. They looked at the girl with suspicion and power. The leader of the council spoke in a deep voice. Human, why have you come here? The girl stood tall. I want peace. I want to understand and help. I want to change the way the galaxy lives. The council members whispered among themselves. The girl felt their cold eyes but did not look away. One member stepped forward. Many have tried to change the galaxy with words. Most have failed. Why should we believe you? The girl looked at the wolf beside her. The wolf growled softly, as if giving her strength. Because I have shown kindness to your deadliest beast. Because I have solved the ancient puzzle. And because I believe that even the darkest shadows can change with light. The council was silent. Then slowly, the leader nodded. Very well. We will watch you. But know this. Your path will be full of danger and pain. You must be ready. The girl bowed slightly. I am ready. The Empress watched from the back of the chamber. Her expression was unreadable. The girl had passed the test of wisdom, but the Council of Shadows would be the greatest challenge yet. Outside the chamber, the wolf stood close to the girl. She reached out and touched his scales gently. We are together, she whispered. The wolf looked at her with fierce eyes but a calm heart. The girl knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy was wide and full of secrets, but she was not alone anymore. The girl and her wolf friend left the dark chamber with heavy steps. The Council of Shadows had accepted her words, but their warning still echoed in her mind. The galaxy was full of dangers, and her journey was far from over. Outside the palace, the stars shone bright in the vast sky. The girl looked up, feeling both small and strong. The wolf stood close beside her, its eyes watching every movement. Where do we go now? She asked softly. The wolf did not answer with words, but led her to a hidden door at the side of the palace. The door opened to a narrow tunnel lit by glowing crystals. The girl followed quietly, trusting her fierce friend. The tunnel was long and twisted. As they walked, the girl felt the weight of the galaxy's history around her. She thought about the Empress, the Council, and the battles she had seen. She knew she needed more than courage. She needed allies. At the end of the tunnel, they reached a large cavern filled with ancient machines and strange symbols. The wolf growled softly, sensing the power in the place. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the cavern. Who dares enter the Hall of the Forgotten? From the shadows stepped an old alien with bright blue eyes. His face was kind but serious. I am Kale, keeper of the hall, he said. Why do you come here, human? The girl stepped forward. I seek help to bring peace to the galaxy. I want to stop the fighting and build trust. Kale studied her carefully. Many have tried and failed. Why should I help you? The girl looked at the wolf, because I am not alone. This wolf is my friend and protector. Together, we can change the future. Kyle nodded slowly. Very well. I will teach you the secrets of the ancients, but only if you are ready to face the truth. The girl agreed, without hesitation. She knew the truth could be hard, but she wanted to understand everything. For days, Kale taught her about the history of the galaxy, the wars, the lost civilizations, and the power of friendship. He showed her how ancient technology could heal wounds and bring people together. One night, as the girl rested, she had a dream. She saw the wolf, but not as a beast. In her dream, he was a noble guardian, strong and wise, protecting many worlds. She woke with a new understanding. The wolf nudged her gently. "We must use what we have learned," she whispered. Kyle smiled. "You have grown, young one. But your path is still dangerous. The enemies you face are powerful and will not give up easily." The girl nodded. "I am ready." As she left the Hall of the Forgotten with the wolf, she felt hope growing inside. The galaxy was wide and filled with shadows, but light was starting to shine through. Suddenly, a loud explosion shook the cavern. The girl and Kyle rushed outside to see smoke rising from the palace. The enemies had returned, stronger and more determined. The girl looked at the wolf and then at Kyle. "We must protect our home." Kyle nodded. "I will stand with you." The battle was fierce, with laser beams and roaring engines lighting the sky. The girl used her new knowledge to help the defenders. The wolf fought bravely, protecting her from danger. In the heat of the fight, the girl saw a figure move quickly toward the Empress's throne. It was the leader of the enemy forces, a cruel alien known for destroying worlds. Without thinking, the girl ran after him. The wolf followed close behind. The enemy sneered. "You cannot stop me, human." But the girl stood firm. "I will not let you destroy what we are building." With courage and quick thinking, she trapped the enemy in a cage made by ancient technology. The battle ended with the enemy retreating. The Empress approached the girl. "You fight with more than strength. You fight with heart. Perhaps the galaxy needs this after all." The girl smiled, feeling tired but hopeful. She knew the journey was long, but with her wolf and new friends, she could face anything. The battle had ended, but the girl and the wolf knew the real fight was just beginning. The enemy had retreated, but their threat still hung over the palace, like a dark cloud. The Galactic Empress stood beside the girl, her eyes full of a strange respect. "We have little time," the Empress said quietly. "They will return stronger. You must prepare." The girl nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility. She looked at her wolf friend, who growled softly, ready to protect her again. The Empress led them to a secret chamber deep in the palace. The walls glowed with ancient light, and strange machines hummed quietly. "This is the heart of the galaxy," the Empress explained. "It holds power beyond imagination, but it can only be controlled by one who truly understands trust and courage." The girl stepped forward carefully. She felt the power in the room, but also a strange calm. The wolf moved close, sensing her courage. "You must connect with the heart," the Empress said. "It will test your spirit." The girl placed her hands on a glowing crystal in the center. Suddenly, a vision surrounded her. She saw stars, planets, and countless lives. She felt their joys and fears. The galaxy was alive, but fragile. A voice whispered, "Do you have the courage to protect us all?" The girl's heart beat fast. "Yes," she said firmly. The vision changed. She saw the wolf again, but this time not as a beast, but as a guardian of light. She understood his pain was also the galaxy's pain. Healing him would help heal the whole galaxy. The vision faded, and the girl opened her eyes. The Empress smiled. "You have passed the test." Suddenly, alarms rang through the palace. The enemy was attacking again, this time with more ships and weapons. The girl and the wolf ran to the walls to defend the palace. The battle was fierce. Lasers cut through the sky, and explosions shook the ground. The girl used the knowledge from the heart of the galaxy to strengthen the defenders. The wolf fought, bravely, his red eyes glowing with fierce loyalty. In the middle of the fight, the girl saw a group of enemy soldiers sneaking toward the heart chamber. If they reached it, they could take control of the galaxy's power. Without hesitation, the girl and the wolf raced after them. The wolf used his speed and strength to stop the soldiers, while the girl activated ancient defenses that Kyle had taught her. The enemies were pushed back, but the fight was not over. The leader of the enemy forces appeared again, stronger and angrier. "You cannot win," he shouted. "The galaxy will be mine." The girl stood tall. The galaxy belongs to all, not just one. With her wolf at her side, she faced the leader. They fought with courage and heart, not just weapons. The wolf's fierce growls and the girl's quick moves surprised the enemy. Finally, the leader fell, defeated. The palace was safe, for now. The Empress came forward. "You have changed this place, human. Your courage and heart have brought new hope." The girl smiled, tired but strong. "We still have a long way to go, but together we can bring peace." The wolf nuzzled her hand, a silent promise of loyalty as the stars shone above. The girl knew her journey was only beginning. The galaxy was wide and full of challenges, but she was ready to face them all, with her friend by her side. The galaxy felt different now. The stars seemed brighter, and the air was filled with hope. The girl stood on the highest balcony of the palace, looking out at the vast space beyond. Her wolf stood beside her, calm but alert. The Galactic Empress joined them quietly. "You have changed many minds," she said. "Even I see now that peace is possible." The girl smiled softly. "It was never about power. It was about understanding." The Empress nodded. "Your journey has shown courage, wisdom, and kindness, qualities rare in this galaxy." The wolf growled softly, as if agreeing. Suddenly, a message arrived from the Council of Shadows. They invited the girl to speak at the next Galactic Summit. It was a chance to bring all leaders together for peace. The girl felt a mix of fear and excitement. This was the moment she had worked for. The day of the summit arrived. The great hall was filled with beings from many worlds, aliens of all shapes and sizes, some with glowing eyes, others with strange markings. The girl stood at the center, her heart steady. She spoke simply and clearly. "We have lived in fear and anger for too long, but we can choose a new path, a path of trust, respect, and friendship." The leaders listened, some with doubt, others with hope. She told them about her wolf friend, the Empress, and the lessons she had learned. If a human and a deadly wolf can find peace, so can we all. The room was silent for a moment. Then a few leaders began to nod. Slowly, more joined in. The walls echoed with new voices, voices promising change. After the summit, the girl walked outside with her wolf. The stars shone down like blessings. The Empress came to her one last time. "You have done what many thought impossible. You have united the galaxy." The girl looked at her wolf and then back to the Empress. "This is just the beginning." The wolf gave a low, happy growl. Together, they looked to the stars, ready for whatever came next. The galaxy was no longer a place of fear. It was a place of hope. And the human girl, once mocked, had become its greatest light.